Welcome back to every naval battle in history. In this episode, we'll take on a famous naval battle featuring two exciting subjects, pirates and Pompey the Great. For the pirates, well, with the collapse of the Carthaginians, two things happened which encouraged piracy. First, there was a general increase in Mediterranean trade as the whole region was now Roman. And secondly, the Carthaginian navy was no longer undertaking anti-piracy patrols. The Romans had yet to get a grip on just how much of a naval force was required on an ongoing basis to stop the ordinary folk from getting ideas about all the wealth of the world floating past them. The larger islands in the Med had always been a good haven for piracy, but the region of Cilicia in southern Turkey became so famous for it that the words Cilician and pirate became all but synonymous in this period. Incidentally, our word pirate comes from the Greek pirates, which translates as one who attacks ships. The Romans picked it up as pirata. Famously, Julius Caesar claimed to have been captured by pirates in 75 BCE and coached them on how to get the best ransom for himself before returning with a fleet and cutting all their throats. It's a good story, and it might even have happened. 8 years later, the fear of the growing scourge of piracy in the Mediterranean, which included Ostia, the port of Rome itself, being raided, the Senate decided to act. The proposal was for an anti-piracy commander to have dominion over the waters of the entire Mediterranean and up to 50 miles inland for 3 years. The optimates in the Senate, who, let's not forget, were functionally the billionaires of their day, were more worried about the power being given to one man than they were about the pirates. But after some good old-fashioned mob anarchy, and the by then usual threats from the mob to tear recalcitrants limb from limb, the law was passed. Which brings us to Pompey, Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, called the Great for his conquest for Rome, also called Adolescentulus Carnifex, or Teenage Butcher, a guy who lives in history mostly for siding with the people who paid for the history to be written, the optimates faction of the Roman Senate. He would serve as the great narrative rival to Julius Caesar, although they were close allies for many years. Pompey made a song and dance about how he didn't really want the job of being lord of all the oceans and most of the land. Cassius Dio later noting that Pompey was always in the habit of pretending as far as possible not to desire the things he really wished. With his newfound lordship of most of the civilized world, Pompey raised a force of 500 ships, 120,000 infantry, 5,000 cavalry, and 24 lieutenants. He then made a great show of sailing around, sweeping the pirates from the sea. The trouble with pirates, of course, is that most of the time they don't look like this. Instead, they look just like normal fishermen. And when the Imperial fleet turns up, everyone is whistling a jaunty tune and attending to their fishing. There are numerous conflicting accounts of exactly what happened when Pompey turned up at the pirate stronghold of Korakesion on the southern stretch of modern-day Turkey, what is today the beautiful town of Alanya. It seems very unlikely that tens of thousands of pirates would conveniently muster to be destroyed by Pompey's massed forces. Personally, I'd attend to my fishing until the big shiny knob sailed elsewhere. Why make it easy for him? It also seems suspiciously unlikely he would spare 20,000 of their lives and set them up as free men with land, rather than selling them as slaves, as he was reported to have done after dispatching their 2,000 ships, which were more likely small fishing boats. This brings us to Appian's account, which describes Pompey's reputation scaring the pirates into surrendering, rather than a battle occurring. My strong suspicion is the pirates and Pompey cut a deal. Pompey got to tell Rome about more glorious victories, and the pirates got land to settle on. Pompey would eventually lose badly when he took on a real opponent in Julius Caesar. Strap in, folks, we've got lots more to cover as we take on every naval battle in history. Smash those like and subscribe buttons, ring that bell, you don't want to get left behind.